Hey there. How you doing? On our play for this week, the PS5 Pro is real. Do we need it? Is Xbox next console? It's a tongue twister, but we'll get into it. Why The Last of Us 2 Factions was officially canceled. And is it going to hurt us? Really? Maybe. Yeah. Insomniac was hacked and a surprising game was leaked. All of this and more on Season 7, Episode 49 of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, EJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices. I am joined by
Sean MF Ross.
What does the M and F stand for?
High def.
Oh shit. Yeah. No, he's actually right. Because if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see his camera is in like 85K. It's crazy.
That's cool.
All right. Now you know who we are and how immaculate Sean's camera is. This is Press X Start Gamers Digest, a video podcasting against the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
5-ish.
5-ish, yeah, ish. Yeah. Don't forget, you can support this video by subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, and no wait, liking the video. Did I say like? I didn't say liking the video. Yeah, of course, like the video. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the podcast services you are currently tuned in on. If you want, you can join our conversation by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/discord. A quick little announcement. On this side of the world, next week is Christmas, and both Sean and myself are family-fearing people, so we will be
Allegedly.
celebrating Christmas. Allegedly, yes. So we'll be celebrating Christmas on Sunday. Is it Monday?
I don't know, man. That doesn't matter.
It's the weekend, right? So
it ain't the same no more, man.
yeah, so we're not going to do an episode next week, but we'll be back for the following week to talk about
We
the
may be
games
playing our new games on Christmas, so I don't know. Maybe turn into a stream or some shit. I don't know.
You know what it is. So yeah, you've been warned. Okay, so now that's all settled and that's out the way. Let us jump into the gaming news. Number one. This comes from GameRant. PS5 Pro details leaks online. So the PS5 Pro, I'm sorry, this comes to us by way of Mark Keever. So the PS5 Pro hardware leaks has been corroborated and can now be taken more seriously, adding credibility to previous rumors. The main feature of the PS5 Pro will reportedly be a
Proprietary.
That word always gets me. It will be a proprietary upscaling technology that uses machine learning to improve visuals, potentially allowing for high resolution and high frame rate gameplay. So that proprietary upscaling thing, that sounds a lot like DLSS, which is, I believe, NVIDIA's technology that does the same like upscaling. It's just Sony making their own thing versus having to pay NVIDIA for their technology. All right. Yeah, so this is cool. Sean, do we need a PS5 Pro?
I do.
Oh, excuse me. My man said, "Hey, look, this camera is an 85K. I need my console to match that."
I could play Apex and high def.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
cheek
I think this is an interesting spot that PS5 is kind of in. I think graphically, I don't think we need a PS5 Pro, but
of course we don't.
Right. But I think in terms of the conversation of when I get a AAA game, I go into the graphical settings. It's like, hey, do you want to play performance or fidelity? And it's like,
why can't I have both?
Yeah, exactly. Why can't I have both? And I think if the PS5 Pro can do that both thing without blowing up your console every time, then like, yeah, that's cool. I think that's cool.
We had an abnormally long generation with the last generation. Let me see. The PS4 came out late 2013, and then the PS4 Pro came out like 4 years later. So I mean, it would be on track if they're doing these type of things again. If it, I mean, I doubt it's gonna come out 2024, maybe the end of 2024. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I'm sure
So
people would be.
the
Oh yeah,
rumor
go
is
ahead.
September 2024.
I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
I've stated this before. People get into this weird thing where everybody, more people are into gaming than before, and
Mhm.
everybody feels like they need to buy every single thing that comes out, and scalpers cause more scarcity than there is, more artificial scarcity. I don't know. People just buy shit for fear of missing out, as well as, I don't know, criticizing like, why do we need this? Like, you don't have to buy everything. Like, I blame
Yeah.
it on Apple. Apple, you buy new fucking phones every year, and they release the next one and make you look at the phone in your hand that you just bought 6 months ago like this piece of turd.
No,
So
I mean, you have a solid point because that was part of their marketing strategy was to show this product that makes their same product in your hands look obsolete. So you're just like, oh, I got to get this new thing because this new thing is cool. And at the same time, like that's kind of how the tech industry has always
yeah,
operated in some fashion. But like I think in this case, it is definitely a thing of like, this is a pro model. This is for the people who,
yeah,
want to invest fully into this ecosystem and buy like the newest thing all the time. So this is not necessarily a must buy for everybody.
yeah. This is like
I
a Nvidia RTX 4070 versus 4080 or 4090. Like, I don't see people complaining when they come out with a new. You know, do they come out yearly or every other year?
I think it is yearly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
how much do them SOBs cost? Like,
Them things are like a mortgage.
let me see. I'm curious. Go ahead.
But
Let me look at
like,
it up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the other question to this is what is the price point for this?
Jesus Christ,
Because
my chest. A 4070 costs $600,
oh my gosh. You know what? That's actually not as expensive as I thought it was gonna be.
and a 4090 costs hmm, hmm, about $2,000. Yeah, they can.
Okay, see that's what I thought it was gonna be. That's
I mean, you
insane.
could get it for around 1,500 to 1,200, but still, like,
Oh yeah, a discount.
if they come out with a PS5 Pro, it's fine.
Mhm.
I don't think they market their stuff, or Microsoft for that matter. They don't market their consoles like, you still got the base system, broke
Mhm.
ass bitch. Like, it's still not like, the developers that are developing for PCs where they got umpteen different configurations.
Right.
I don't know.
And
It's
actually,
it's fine.
about that, I think the beauty of this is the DLSS.
Hmm.
I'm assuming that the way that that would work is that that would provide automatic upscaling because it's machine learning. So it should be doing it automatically.
Machine learning. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, So it could be a thing where the developers still only have to develop for one SKU, but everything just looks
Yeah,
better with the pro. I,
I
I
don't.
think that also gets into a thing of like, all right, well, if they are just developing for the PS5, then what is the I guess we'd have to actually see like what happens here.
Yeah,
So one thing is to be said is that like the specs aren't finalized, so we don't know what is going to be in this pro. Like, and of course, the price isn't finalized either. We don't even have a price. It's there's speculation that it could be $600. It's maybe I don't know. I mean, that's good. The original PlayStation 5 was 500.
yeah,
So this could be a whole $100 extra. I mean, it could be a thing of the PS5 drops by a 50 and then this comes in at 550.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fine, man. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens when this happens apparently in September of 2024, which is next year. All
Hmm.
right. The next thing, number 2, next Xbox releases what? DPS 50 Pro what the hell? What? I should have read this. What does this mean?
Hmm?
comicbook.com always just anyways. So yes, there's rumors about the next Xbox. The comicbook.com is pulling from a tweet that is pulled from the Jeff Grubb Game Mess Decides podcast. So we're just gonna go straight to the tweet. Um, so rumor. Xbox Next might be released in 2026. Jeff Grubb says one of the leakers that leaked stuff from the PlayStation side is saying that Xbox Next will be released in 2026. No clue whether it's an Xbox Series Pro or the next generation of Xbox. Jeff said he can mostly confirm this, but there are many details that might not fully be locked in. Jeff also added that the leaker said that the leaked all digital Xbox Series X was canceled so that they could get the next Xbox out faster. All
Eh,
right.
I mean, why would they need to cancel it? Just rip out the disk drive and throw some more storage in there. Like, I don't see why they would have to cancel it. That
I
shouldn't
think,
need much more quote unquote development.
yeah, I think the problem there is it worth spending the money to do that versus just leaving the Xbox Series as it is, especially if this is true and they're going to release another Xbox in 2026. It's like, all right, well, let's just put that money into the Xbox Next bucket and just make that console. Because it's like, all right, well, to rip out the disk drives,
That saves them money.
it does save them money, but it's Microsoft. They don't need to save any money. I mean, they should
I
they
mean,
should be pouring
as
gold
I
into
mean,
every Xbox Series X.
as far as like the consumer side, they can. I don't know if they have to like pay licensing fees on like the disk drive or anything like that
Mm,
when you're using discs, but surely they could throw another terabyte or so on there. You know, storage is cheap for them. They're not
yeah,
buying it at the prices that we're getting stuff at. So
yeah. I mean, I because that's what 2 years out. Yeah, I don't
and
know.
then they could bump the price back up to 450 or
Whatever five.
something, 300,
Yeah,
500. Because I don't know if our listeners know, but it seems like they dropped the price down to 400 for the Xbox Series X, and in some places you could get it for $350. Am I gonna buy
mm,
one? No, but yeah,
yeah,
it's out there if you want it.
yeah. And I think they're trying to be as aggressive with their consoles as possible, even though
Hmm.
they don't look at the console metrics. So
Yeah,
they're just dropping the price
yeah, I see it
on new
on Walmart
boxes.
right now for 350.
Oh wow. Oh, I
Xbox
think that
Series
actually
X.
is that in parity with the Xbox or with the PlayStation 5?
No, the PS5 is still 400, I believe.
Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, well, they're trying to
500.
get under that. All right. Um, so yeah, this whole thing, this whole rumor is contradicts the stuff that we saw about Xbox's plans based off of the Activision Blizzard deal, how they thought the next console generation would be in 2026 or 2028.
Hmm.
So it seems that like that was probably old information and they are looking at their stuff and thinking, okay, well, we need to move that date up by 2 years.
Yeah.
So in this Xbox Next, I don't know if that's the development title. I mean, that's an interesting, if that is their official title, I think that's an interesting name for a console. But
Yeah.
then again, Xbox has been doing interesting naming conventions for the consoles since the Xbox 360. So sure. But yeah, we have no other details other than a name and when it could release. And this could be a pro model. I think the idea of this being a pro model kind of works for you know what? If this is a pro model, I think that makes sense why they don't do the no disk drive because it's possible that this could be the same like removable disk drive as the PS5 Slim, but as
Hmm.
you say, they could add extra storage space or whatever to this to make that work out. But yeah,
Yeah.
we really don't know. Number 3, an update on The Last of Us Online. This comes from Naughty Dog exclusively. So they basically put a post on their website stating that The Last of Us Online is officially canceled. Um, you know, a couple months ago, they put out a note saying that the team that's working on the game has been reduced to a essentially a skeleton team,
Yeah.
and now they've officially just canceled the game. And the reason they gave is essentially it seems that when they showed their project to Bungie, Bungie said, "This is okay, but you are making this game in the Naughty Dog way, which is very like a slow and methodical way. But
Hmm.
they always achieve like quality is essentially over everything." And Bungie just kind of flat out told them like, "That's not going to work. If you put this game out, it takes off. People want more content. They're not going to sit and wait around for you to take like years to make more content for this game. Like they're going to want it as they're consuming the game. So
Mm.
you have to decide whether or not you want to fully invest in this or if you want to essentially continue making the games that this studio was built on making."
The last
And
one wasn't a live service. I don't think this one needed to be a live service.
so yeah, because we had a conversation about this on our Discord, and I
That's
think
what you want to call it, Sanaka.
and I think the issue is not necessarily Naughty Dog. I think so. Okay, I think this whole push for live service, this whole like Sony Jim Ryan saying we're gonna have 12 live service games, is a mandate from Sony, is a mandate from PlayStation onto selected studios, and I
Eh,
think
I mean, it might have came
yeah,
from the shareholders.
I mean, shareholders, PlayStation, yeah. I think it's a mandate. I think it's like
Yeah.
word from up top come down to the developers. Like, hey, look, we need some live service games. Can you guys do something? And Naughty Dog was like, yeah, we'll give it a fair shot because we are Naughty Dog and we make games and we had Factions. Factions was a semi-successful um multiplayer mode we released for Last of Us One, and people generally liked it. So I feel like they took it forward. They always had in mind of this being a quote unquote live service game. And I think for them to make a live service game, PlayStation had to fund that. So PlayStation is expecting
Yeah.
this live service thing. So for them to be like, all right, well, we couldn't do a live service thing, but we can put out a mode. I don't think PlayStation looked at that as like it being a profitable thing. So it's like, all right, well, we're going to scrap that. We're going to use whatever we can from whatever technology we can from this expenditure of resources and
Yeah.
cost and like
Into
do something else with
the
it.
new modes for Last of Us 2 Remastered.
Yeah, yeah. So they did say that they were going to use technology to help better their, future games. And then they also said that um I'm just gonna read. So we have more. No, we have more than one ambitious brand new single player game that we've been working on here at Naughty Dog, and we cannot wait to share more about what comes next when we're ready. Um, yeah, I mean, it's one of the things where this sucks not being able to see like a single slice of the game to be like, oh man, this looks great. Oh man, this looks bad. But at the same time,
That's a slippery slope. Somebody's gonna end up, if you do that, somebody's gonna break in and leak that shit.
well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's like at the same time, it sucks for us, but like this is Naughty Dog. This is like Sony's premier studio. So anything they put out, they want to make sure that it is quality. It is a thing that it's going to come out and not going to be like vaporware.
Yeah.
So I can totally see them being like, yeah, look, we're not even gonna bother having this be out. This is not even gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
And it it, it sucks, but at the same time, it's like, all right, that makes sense. Like, if you guys don't think this is going to work, if you guys don't think it's a good idea to um, spend the resources on this, then all right, make something that you do want to spend resources on. Make something that you guys are passionate about. So,
Mm.
yeah. And then there's another thing. I I look at this and I think it's possible that the plan was to have another studio work on this game
Yeah.
because there was a point where PlayStation was buying quote unquote support studios for their live service games. I think I'm not sure which studio it was. I don't think it was Deviant. Deviant Games? No. No, they're working on first person, I think. Anyways,
Anyway.
yeah. So like PlayStation, I think they had a plan to support these games, but it's just once they put Bungie on and Bungie started like giving them feedback, I think everything just fell apart. So this is just where we are. Um so the story to go with this comes from FanWire. Naughty Dog's supposed next project sounds too good to be true. I don't really know about that title, but we're just going to take it and just going to go with it. This is from Ayobu. Ayubu. So essentially, a Naughty Dog. No. The code name for the next project is called Paradox. The title is said to have been under development since 2021 and is expected to release by 2025. No multiplayer modes included in the game. The game might just kick off a new franchise for Naughty Dog. So essentially, there was rumors, leaks about Naughty Dog's next game. A Reddit post had revealed details of a title in the works by Naughty Dog, codename Paradox. The new IP is said to have been under development. No, this is not well. Okay, yeah. So there was a section in here that I wanted to read, and I cannot find it. But essentially, the idea is that the Naughty Dog is working on new IP. They
Yeah.
haven't shown anything to us beyond Last of Us stuff, but I think that was intentional because they are trying to capitalize on the HBO show that did massive numbers, and season 2 is in the works, or it's not coming out. I think it's in the works. So I feel like next year I think we're going to get a PlayStation showcase, and the headliner is going to be this new Naughty Dog project. It just sucks that, you know, their online thing didn't work for them. So that's like kind of an L for them. We're going to have to get over that and then get this new thing. But yeah, I think we're going to see whatever this new project is next year, probably the first half of next year. Um, yeah, yeah. What's your feelings on this?
Well, I'm looking. It says Diesel Punk, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell Diesel Punk is. But apparently, it's like an era after steampunk, but before cyberpunk. They have all these different aesthetics that I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So, what between World War I, World War II, around 1950s aesthetic.
yeah,
I don't know, man.
yeah,
I'll just wait and see. I'll wait and see. I'll play what's available.
yeah.
Just keep the good stuff coming.
I mean, it's one of the things where it's just like, well, this is Naughty Dog making a single player game, so we
Hmm.
know it's going to be quality. It's just like, are we going to get a Joel and Ellie character in this game? I don't know. We'll see. All
Are
right.
we gonna get some political discourse out of this game?
All right. Is there an Abby character?
Hmm.
All right. Number 4. Leaked Insomniac documents could suggest a Spider-Verse game is in development. This comes from Insider Gamer by way of Tom Henderson. Oh, okay. 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 All right. We got Dason's watching. Hi, Dason. How you doing? Doing good? It's great. All right. Yeah, so leaked documents from Insomniac Games' ransomware attack could suggest the developers are working on a new Spider-Verse game. The ransomware attack was confirmed by Sony, which can confirm that sensitive employee information was compromised. So yeah, like this sucks. Like we are getting information on this, or we're getting information about um Insomniac's next games, but it's not in the way that we should get this information, because these people
Yeah.
are holding this information for like millions of dollars, and it's terrible. And like there's like passport information and stuff like that that is caught up in this ransomware attack.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they socially engineered their way into the company's stuff.
I mean, probably that's the easiest way to do it nowadays. All right, so from the leaked documents, there's been three projects that's been identified. So we have a RCE project, we have Spider-Man 3, and Spider-Verse. Now, it's already known that Insomniac is working on a multiplayer project, which has led fans to speculate that it could be the Spider-Verse project. So
What would you do?
that's that's my question. Like, I I feel like the multiplayer game is
Yeah.
that RCE, and I think RCE is Ratchet and Clank Evolution or
Well, they did have
something.
multiplayer Ratchet and Clank games in the
Yeah, all
past
for
where you
one.
did do. There was more than just that.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I
Um,
mean, the last one
yeah,
was awful. Was like the 4 player one. Yeah, it's like I feel like Ratchet and Clank, like it makes the most sense that it would be a Ratchet and Clank game that has a
yeah,
multiplayer,
it
because,
does make
as you said,
sense.
yeah, like there's already precedents for it. Precedent?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think. Yeah, they're
Deadlocks.
like
That's the one I'm trying to think of.
okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's already history of Ratchet and Clank multiplayer games. Um, we already had a Ratchet and Clank game to come out to the PS5 this generation, so the next
Mhm.
one can just be a multiplayer experience, and like that kind of works. But at the other side, where it's like to do a multiplayer Spider-Man, I don't know how you can make that an interesting game.
He already
Cor-
kicks enough ass on his own. Like, how much multiplayer? What kind of enemies are you gonna put in there for Spider-Man to need help with?
Exactly, and it's like, what, what is?
And, and make an entire game out of it. Like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like that. I'm just like, for me, I think the Spider Verse project is DLC. Like, because we already at the spoilers for Spider-Man 2. At the very end, if you collect all the spider bots, you get a Spider-Verse teaser. So it's
mhm.
like, they might do something more with that, which in my mind would make sense, because if you align that game with the Spider-Verse movie, like that's easy. The one thing that is strange is that there are three yet to be, well, I guess this is yet to be announced projects. So Wolverine doesn't necessarily have to be a part of this because it's already been revealed. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was leaked information about Wolverine as well. There was a screenshot and some information. I'm not sharing the screenshot because I don't want
We'll
to
get
get
slapped the shit out of.
it, exactly. So yeah, so that's out there if you want it. So this is, all the information that we have so far that's been pulled out of this hacker leak stuff. Again,
Yeah.
this is not in the best way to have this information, because there are people's sensitive data that is wrapped up in this, and that's it's terrible. But yeah, um, number 5, E3 is officially dead.
Damn.
And so, so it's a version of the industry it was made for. This comes from Ars Technica. Yeah, there's not really too much to be said about this. E3, they put out a tweet, and in the tweet they said, after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. The organization wrote, "Thanks for the memories, GGWP," which is what, good game, well played. This,
Yeah.
out of all the ways you could say goodbye to one of the biggest part of the game industry, I think this is probably the weakest way to do it. Like, they could have put some money to build like a little like goodbye reel or whatever, to be like, all the memories. Thanks for uh
Yeah. Highlight
being
reel.
on this. Yeah. I really think that it's a situation where E3 lasted so long. It
Mhm.
you live long enough to become the villain, and I think that's what happened to E3 because it went from oh my god, this is amazing, oh my god, this is cool to like oh Nintendo's not going to be here. Oh okay, Sony's not going to be here either. Huh. Okay. Oh, it's really expensive to host anything at at E3. Huh? Oh, you got to pay for your own food. Huh? No, not even that. You have to. You can't bring your own food. Like there's a bunch of stuff that was being like revealed about like how money hungry this whole thing was, and it's like, oh, it kind of makes sense why people are, or rather the first parties are like, we're not going
Wow.
to do this
So
anymore.
the very first E3 was when they PlayStation did that mic drop and they announced the first PlayStation was going to be $299 versus the more expensive Sega Saturn, which was going to be $400 that year. Like they
Oh,
could have had a whole lot of hot highlight reels about when they
yeah,
released it. Like, that's kind of whack
yeah,
that they.
yeah. Or even
Maybe
even
maybe
the
a fan will do it.
I know, yeah, of course, someone will definitely like take up the mantle and do that. But even the whole the mic drop moment from PlayStation when
Hmm.
Xbox was talking about it's going to be always online console, and PlayStation was like, oh well, this is how we will
Yeah.
trade their games or do whatever. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, okay. So actually, wait, we got a comment. Red Shadowfist, aka our friend Dyson, says, "Would you say the pandemic or
Competition
wait,
and killer overall. It was both. Um, with the democracy. He makes poor choices. I'm sorry to hear that. He bought the Sega Saturn that year. I wasn't there to save him. Um,
right?
so it was a combination of things. One, with the democratization of putting out your own media, direct marketing to its consumers, you had to pay a ridiculous amount of money per square footage of booth space at E3. Um, it,
Nintendo killed
it,
it.
Nintendo started the slow trend with the Nintendo Directs and Treehouse Lives and all that stuff.
Hmm.
And then eventually Sony started putting out their state of plays, and that was the beginning of the end for it.
Yep.
Why pay for expensive booth space and you're relying on other media outlets to put out what you put out there because I don't think YouTube was as mature back then as it is now.
Hmm.
Now they can set up their own countdowns. Just like how GTA. I'm not sure if they make money off of trailers with YouTube. I'm
Make
curious
money
about
off
that.
of trailers in what
If
way?
you have a certain amount of views on a YouTube video, you bring in money.
Yeah,
So it's
if
like,
the trailers are monetized, then yeah.
so why would I pay? You know,
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
why would
yeah.
I pay to show my shit at E3 and then all the other media outlets like GameRant, IGN, Eurogame, all those places are gonna take what we put and put it out there,
Hmm.
whether it be screen or off screen video or talking about it, when I could just put it out myself. Like we saw, GTA 6 has the most viewed game trailer of all time. I think they beat out Mr. Beast video and make
Yeah,
money off of that.
yeah,
I
yeah. It's one of the things where like E3 has always been for the quote unquote lower tier developers, like the developers that don't have any eyes on them. They come
Mhm.
to this place and they show their game and they hope that like someone big notices them or they hope that like
You mean with E3?
IGN, yeah, E3, yeah, yeah. Because like you have like so you have PlayStation, Microsoft, Nintendo. You have Ubisoft. You have um, EA, Square Enix, or whatever. But then you have a whole bunch of other developers who just come there with their games and show off their games and hope that someone like walks by and be like, "Oh, that looks interesting," and that person's like
Yeah. Now
an
you
IGN
have
person. Yeah,
now you have Jeff Keighley and other outlets having just an indie focused day where
yeah,
you don't have to pay
yeah,
that ridiculous money. And
yeah,
Jeff Keighley is more than happy to show your shit because he has more free content. Like,
yeah, yeah. Jeff
and
Keighley does a better job with doing the thing that E3 was supposed to do, but ultimately just stopped doing because it was more focused on the money, for the lack of better words. So yeah, that's kind of that's where that is, you know. So yeah, pour one out for E3. I think. Are you gonna say something? Go ahead.
I'm I just hate that I never really got to go.
Yeah, me too.
And
Me
and
too.
it's in its heyday and its
Yeah,
prime, but I mean it is what it is.
yeah, yeah. It's one of the things where it's like it's lived too long to is just a villain now. So even if we were to get an E3, it probably would not be close to the E3 we'd want to go to. And
Mm.
again, like between the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest, like Keeley did the thing. Like he killed E3. like Nintendo started it and he finished it basically. So that's that. Um so Tekken 8, they dropped the story of the trailer. Well,
No one
before
cares.
we care. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it. It's gonna be muted though because I don't want to get caught up by any kind of like copyright thing. But yeah, before we do that, hey, you listener, do us a favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and the notification bell. Do those three things, and we greatly appreciate you. Maybe we will drive to your home and give you a pat on the back. Maybe not. Is that assault? I don't. Anyways, just do things, and we'll give you a virtual pat on the back. I think we'll both be safer if we did that. So yeah, appreciate it. Um, yeah. So Tekken. So real quick, I'm a Tekken super fan, right? Like I've played Tekken from one,
How many
and
outfits did King have in Tekken 3?
oh, how many outfits? And I
I
think
don't
it
know,
was
man. I'm just fucking with
four.
you.
No, I think actually it was four back then because I think it was a square, triangle, X, circle outfit, or maybe it was just two: the square, triangle, and X. Anyways, it's either two or four. It's those.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I'm messing with you, man. I
um,
know.
I know. Yeah, so Tekken 8, they dropped the story trailer, and up until this point, they have been showing a character trailer every like 3 weeks or something
Couple weeks.
crazy like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And it's been like, oh, this is cool. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And then now we actually get an actual story trailer from the game. And I'm just gonna play it because it's a really, really good trailer. Like this is a
Yo,
first for them to put out a trailer like this hype.
this shit looks bonkers. I haven't even followed Tekken since, like I said, Tekken 3 when they had the the wooden character and the panda and the dinosaur and all that shit. But
Mokujin.
this, look at this nerd. This shit made it look interesting, and it's fine that it's a game, but goddamn, I wish this was like a TV show or a movie. This looks like some high quality stuff. As
well, well, Sean,
huh?
you should know that they actually have a Netflix
I don't want to
animated
watch
thing
this
for
shit. I want to watch new thing.
so it's cool. So like yeah, so in this trailer, we get a couple of things. We get the meeting of Jin and his mom June, and it seems that she gives him something. I'm gonna make a prediction here. I think she gives him the
So,
ability to have an angel form.
so you
For
say
those who don't
he got
know,
it from his mama?
he did get it from his mama. He also got it from his
Marcus,
daddy
Marcus,
too.
do the thing.
So yeah, like there's a bunch of things here. Like we find out that Jin can't access his demon form or his devil form, and it's just like that's a big thing to Jin. And the fact that he can do it is like he's kind of significantly like powered down. But yeah,
So
my
he couldn't
prediction
get
is
it up
that
when it mattered. Is what you're saying?
yes, hey man, you're making salient points. You know that. So yeah, like we get a bunch of stuff. We get a new form of Devil Kazuya. I think he's gonna be like the last boss that you fight.
So
We
is
got all these
Jin and
different new
Kazuya two
characters.
different people?
Yeah, so Kazuya is Jin's father. So at
I
the
like them two people who just on screen.
yes. Why did you?
There's Jin, there's Kazuya, and is there somebody else?
Hey
Because there was two
Hachi.
similar SOB.
So Kazuya and Jin are similar. I don't know why this trailer stopped like that. Kazuya and Jin are similar, and then Heihachi is Kazuya's father. So at the start of
Yeah,
Tekken 1, the whole thing starts with Heihachi throwing Kazuya into a volcano. It's not
yeah, I
active.
remember that.
throws him to a volcano, and then Kazuya comes out and he's like, "Nah,
Yes,
I gotta beat
because
my
that
dad's
makes him a
ass."
better father because it's not an active volcano.
Hey
Good
man, you
disclaimer.
gotta be safe, right? So yeah, and then Kazuya in turns throw does he? He throws Heihachi down a volcano, and it's just like there's a lot of family struggles happening in this game. But anyways, um, I'm not sure what happened to the trailer there. It conked out, so I'm not even gonna bother with it. But yes, go watch Tekken 8 story trailer. It looks dope. There is a bunch of craziness happening, and it got me really excited. It got Sean really excited, which I was surprised about because generally Tekken, I don't know how well Tekken does for people who aren't familiar with the game all that much. So I was
Mm,
I was surprised that Sean was like, "Oh man, this looks really cool." It's like, "Oh, okay, they might be doing something here then, if that's the case." So yeah,
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Um, number 7. Baldur's Gate 3 will never be on Game Pass, says Larian CEO. We made a big game, so I think there's a fair price to be paid for that. This comes from PC Gamer by way of uh Fraser Brown. So that's pretty much what this article is about. Um the CEO says that they're not going to put Baldur's Gate 3 on Game Pass. I feel like that makes the most sense. Like this game
Uh,
just got
Not necessarily.
so
Not
here's the thing.
necessarily. Yeah, go
Here's the
ahead.
thing. Because like the whole thing about Game Pass, the way it works is that Xbox will give you a lump sum of money for what they expect your game will make, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I think and it's the math there is that you want to make sure the money that Xbox gives you is fair for you in terms of what you think you're going to make with your game. But at the same time, when you put your game on Game Pass, you can't do certain things with it. So I can imagine it could be a thing of like, well, you can put it on Game Pass, but you can't put it on PlayStation Plus or whatever. And I feel
Okay.
like,
Yeah. This is a lot. So, all right, I can see why they didn't put it on Game Pass, but I mean, they couldn't have known that it was going to sell this much. So, these numbers might be slightly off. Um, Total sales looks like it's about 22 million,
mhm,
maybe.
yeah,
I might be off.
because we have to remember that there was an article a couple of months ago when Baldur's Gate 3 released, and I think it was Hasbro or the publisher. I don't Wizardly Coast or something. I think it was Hasbro. They
Hmm.
said that they had like a 40% increase in their revenue from the
Yeah.
game or something like that. And it's like that number is insane. Like to make that much money off of one game is insane. But like we never got official uh numbers on how much Baldur's Gate actually sold. So it was always kind of just working
It it
whatever math we
it
could.
it sold at least there. This is a big range, but I mean between
Yeah,
12 million to 22 million, and that's just on Steam. So we're not counting
consoles.
PlayStation and
PlayStation, yeah.
Xbox. So, but yeah, but I just did the numbers, and that's almost like 1.5 billion. So I can see why they were like. Granted, they couldn't have known it was going to sell this much again, but god damn, that is a
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. It's one of the things where they believed in their product. They
Yeah,
took the bet and they won that bet. Like it makes sense why they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna we're not gonna do this. Like, no. And then another thing is that like this is a single player game with no microtransactions. So for them to put their game on Game Pass, their that lump sum of money would be the only money they would get.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it makes sense why they wouldn't do it.
Microsoft probably would have paid them like 500 million or something. I don't know. I remember them
Yeah. And
paying
and
some
and again,
ridiculous amount.
like we got to realize that there was documents about how much Microsoft was going to pay them for Game Pass, and that number was ridiculous even at that time. I don't remember the
Oh yeah,
exact number
low.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really low, and even in that article, like Microsoft said, like, yeah, we didn't think that the Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be like a big thing. So it all works out to make sense as to why Larian was like, no, we're not going to take that. They're not going to take that money. So yeah, that's that. Um, number 8. Hogwarts Legacy is beating Modern Warfare 3 as the best-selling game of 2023. This comes from Forbes by way of Paul Tassi. Um, so yeah, this I was actually considering whether or not I should put this on here. It's one of the things where so this list is from January of this year to November 25th. Yeah, November 25th. So at that point, when Call of Duty was released, it was a couple weeks out because I think it was the start of November it was released, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Um, so the thing is, I think this shows how strong Hogwarts Legacy is right now and how well it's doing in terms of being sold, people playing it. General consensus is that it's good and people are buying it throughout the year.
There are
Eh,
more people who are going to want to play. This appeals to a wider audience, as large as a Call of Duty audience is. Not everybody wants to learn all the
well,
guns or has the reflexes to shoot up people.
the issue though is
Hmm.
that we are comparing essentially 11 months of sales in Hogwarts Legacy to not even a full month of sales of Call of Duty. So it's one of the things where it's like right now, Hogwarts Legacy is beating Call of Duty. And then we also have to account for what Christmas is going to do on both sides.
I mean, I
So,
think those are the two big bursts for Call of Duty, though, is the initial sales and Christmas. I think the sales numbers drop. It's not a constant seller like some games. I'd have to look up the charts.
well, I mean, I think it is in terms of Call of Duty, like it is a constant
Yeah.
seller because it is thing of like, oh, Call of Duty is top one here, Call of Duty is top one here, and it's just
Hmm.
like it's throughout the year essentially. But I think this really shows the strength of Hogwarts Legacy in terms of it being like a solid game, even though, you have to always include the whole J.K. Rowling bullshit and how horrible she is and so on and so forth. But like when people buy this game, they're not buying it because of her. They're buying it because of their Harry Potter fantasies that they're living in this game. And like that's kind of what it boiled down to. And it's a good Harry Potter simulator or like I guess Hogwarts simulator, like in terms of what you're doing in that
Yeah.
game. Like I played it, I enjoyed my time in it, and I didn't beat it because I jumped to other games, but it was always a thing of like, I need to get back to that game. I need to get back to that game. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, at some point, I'll get back to that game. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much this. I guess number 3 is Tears of the Kingdom, which is not surprising because this report doesn't include digital sales for Nintendo. So this is just physical sales. And then number
Yeah.
4 was Spider-Man 2. Then we have number 5, Madden NFL 2024. And then number 6 is Diablo 4, which is interesting. Number 7 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So that kind of gets to your point, Sean, about how high, it is, even though that came out last year. And then we have Jedi Survivor number 8, Mortal Kombat 1 as number 9, and Starfield at number 10. So, yeah, that's that. That's those numbers. Yeah. All right. Number 9. Netflix is bringing the excellent Sonic Mania to mobile. This comes to us by The Verge by way of Ash Parish. Parish? Parish. All right.
Ash Ketchum.
Yes. That's a cool name. All right, so Netflix has figured out the only thing better than having a bunch of Sonic cartoons on this platform is having a Sonic game. The streamer has announced that Sonic Mania Plus, the best Sonic game in this decade, is coming to mobile via Netflix in 2024. Let me ask you a question, Sean. Because you played
Hmm.
Sonic Mania, right?
Yep.
Do you want to play that on your phone?
Hmm. Um, Not with touch controls. Sonic is not playable with touch controls unless they're gonna make him like automatically run and you're just jumping. But I
Yeah, like
don't. But then it's
I
not just Sonic you're controlling. So I mean, I'd have to see if like you can add a backbone to your phone to play. I think some of them are controller compatible.
like I find this move by Netflix so interesting because I feel like they're making great moves in terms of the
Yeah,
games that they're picking on their platform, but it always gets to the point of like, all right, how are you playing these games? Like, are you doing touchscreen on your phone to play these games, or like, are they just being like, at this point, there's Backbone, there is Razor Kishi or whatever. Like, you can go figure that out yourself. Like, we just have the games on the
they
platform for you to
need to
play.
do something similar to what the Stadia did with connecting it directly to Wi-Fi.
Yep, yep. I
Or
mean, why don't they just shell out money and buy the controllers from Google Stadia? They're not doing anything with them controllers. Like, just buy them out, rebrand them as Netflix
interestingly
controllers, and
enough,
just
for anybody who does has a Stadia, Google released a tool to make it usable over Bluetooth and USB, I think. So they
oh
won't
shit,
become paperweights after December 31st. Granted, somebody's going to keep those files online at all times, but
oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
they need to do
Okay,
something similar to that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. Um, and the last story, which is not surprising to anyone, the day before has failed financially, and the
Damn,
dev
son.
is closing down just 4 days after launch. We This is a quote from them. We don't have the funding to continue the work.
They didn't have the funding to start the work. Fuck.
So this comes to us from Games Radar by way of Dustin Bailey. Uh okay. So I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, okay, so there's a quote from them. Today, we announced the closure of Fantastic Studio, the company says in a tweet. Unfortunately, the day before has failed financially, and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners. We invested all of our efforts, resources, and man hours into the development of the day before, which was our first huge game. We really wanted to release new patches to reveal the full potential of the game, but unfortunately, we don't have the
Hmm.
funding to continue the work.
Did they have other games before this?
They had like smaller games. So
I ain't
it's
never heard of
hard
these.
to, okay, because there's two sides of this, right? There is the side of like, oh man, these people just be scamming. That's what it is. But then there is the
Hmm.
other side of like, maybe they actually did want to build a game and like, you know,
I
they're,
don't doubt it. I think they were trying to fake it till they make it, but you can only do that for so long. Like what they should have done was just release some shit in early access on Steam. Look at there's a bunch of games on Steam that are still early access that are still popping. Let me see.
yeah.
Is Eve Online is a full game? What am I thinking of? It's one of them space games.
Are you thinking Star Citizen? I
Probably.
don't think.
Star Citizen has brought in millions, and
Yeah.
the game is nowhere near being complete, but people are still paying out the ass to play that.
Yes. Yeah. It's it's one of the things where I'm just like, man, it sucks. It sucks. But the big issue is that there was
Hmm.
a lack of communication between these devs and the people that were excited for this game. Mainly because when this game was promoted, it was promoted as an MMO zombie survival game where you get to do X, Y, and Z and survive in this open world. You have a house you can build. There's mud that your truck can drive into and kind of get stuck, but you can figure yourself out. Blah 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 blah. But then when they released it, it was just a tactical like extraction shooter, and it's just like, well, where did this come from? Like, where is the MMO part of this game? And it kind of wasn't
If if
there.
if they were just honest and release it as an early access on Steam and
Hmm.
told people it's a work in progress, they would have been fine. Instead, they scammed and did asset flips and had gamers, customers working on the game alongside with them. Like, if they were just honest and did that, they would have been fine.
Right. Right.
But I don't know.
And then another thing we have to also talk about in this is that essentially when they quote unquote closed down their studio, there was something that was picked up by a user on Steam in that. So this is an update from the this whole thing. So this comes from Inside Gamer. Update on Fantastic. 8 points name change. So essentially, they close down the studio and they
Them boys said,
rename the studio
"Hello,
as
we are 8 points."
We're here to bring you the next open world survivor games. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so essentially they changed their name from Fantastic to 8 points. And everyone was just like, did they really just do that? Like they sold a crap game and then they said, well, gotta go, guys, and they just changed shirts. Like that's it. It turns out that the publishers, Hype Train Digital, the publisher of Fantastic, said that 8 points was actually their name before Fantastic. So they switched their names to their previous name.
I think it's
Either
supposed to be
way,
effing. I think it's supposed to be fantastic.
oh, was it F? Oh,
I think they're trying to be clever.
oh, F. Okay, I see that. I see that. Uh, I would ask for clarification from them, but they're dead. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, so they it's one of the things where it's just like this is just unfortunate from all sides. I don't know. I don't really know what to say to this other than like, man, if you make a game, just don't lie about it because eventually you're gonna have to put it out, and eventually people are gonna play it, and then people are gonna figure out the truth because nothing dies on the internet. So they're gonna figure stuff out, guys. So yeah, that's that. I hope there's a lesson learned there for those devs and the person who was the figurehead to, you know, try
They
and
ain't gonna
deceive people.
learn anything. Cooking up the next scam.
All right. That has been the gaming news. Now, before we end this fat thing, let's talk about the games we've been playing. Sean, you got anything you've been playing?
Nah, just
Yeah.
zombies. I mean, shit, we did fight that big ass snake,
Grey Worm or
Thorlac,
something?
Starlac, yeah, Greylorn. That was
Yeah.
that was wild. Wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. Uh, other than that, I don't know. I'm just playing zombies, man. I ain't
Yeah.
nothing new.
So I want to give a shout out to the Call of Duty zombie mode because I think it is a I don't want to say it's an underrated mode, but I think it's a mode that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to. And I think it's a really cool mode.
I
What are you gonna
will
say?
say I enjoy the community this time around. I saw an article saying that it was missing a crucial DMZ mode, or aspect, which was PvPvE. Adding
Hmm.
the ability to fight other players. It doesn't need that.
It doesn't.
Um, if you want to do that, there are contracts on Warzone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and you have
Yeah.
resurgence there. Whatever. It doesn't need that. I'm enjoying just random people stopping by and I'm about to leave, attitude, so they drop off all their weapons and money for you, just to be helpful. Or somebody will be
Yeah.
doing a mission nearby. I have traveled across the map to go pick somebody up now, and people have done the same for me. Or I'll see somebody fighting something tough, in level one, they're struggling with a mimic or a mangler, and I come in with my pack a punch weapon and just vaporize the shit for them and be on my way, like I'm
Yeah.
enjoying the community quote unquote aspect of the zombies mode. We'll see how long this lasts, how much they can push this, but it's fun. It's fun right now.
Yeah,
It's
totally agree.
space.
Like I've had similar experiences where like I have played the game, I jumped in, thought I was gonna get a team of 2 other people with me. I jumped in solo. I'm like, all right, well, let me go look for some friends. And the last game I played, I found this person. I think he was new to the game because I was sending him invites, but he wasn't, or he or she wasn't accepting the invite. So
Mm.
I don't think they understood how to accept
Or
invites.
maybe they just didn't want to party with you, DJ. You're not that cool.
But hey, sorry, they followed me for like the entire game. So like it was a weird thing of it was almost like a journey experience where like you can't vocalize stuff to the person, but you're trying to communicate in different things. So like I found them a three
I
plate. I
mean,
dropped
you
three
could
plate.
just proximity chat.
Yeah, yeah. I could have done that. I should have turned on proximity chat and yeah.
You
Huh.
a dumbass, DJ.
That's the thing. But like that's the whole Call of Duty thing. Like I'm so used to like turning my mic off and just listen to the hate stream because just like I don't want to talk to these people. But like I totally forgot that I could turn on the proximity chat. Okay, I'll make sure to do that next time. But they were like, "Hey, do you have a mic? I don't know how to join your team. Help!" But
Next
say
game,
like
DJ. Just
right. But yeah, like I just wanted to say,
yeah.
like, I think they've really nailed something with Modern Warfare Zombies. There's no reason for them to add a PvP mode
Yeah.
to this. And for those people who want that, as you said, they can play Warzone. They can play the normal
That's
multiplayer.
contracts in
They can even
Warzone. You just want to pick on helpless people who aren't expecting you to fuck with
yeah.
them. Like, I don't know.
Like
That's what it turned
there's
into.
no benefits to attacking other people in this game. And there shouldn't be because it's like that's not the point of this. Like you go play DMZ. You can get all that
It's
there.
not
Just go
like it's Rust or DayZ where it's a perpetual mode and you're hoarding resources. You have about 45 minutes to an hour roughly in
yeah.
uh MWZ. So
Right. And you don't keep any of that beyond the perk cans, your ether tools, and the guns that you have. Like so it's
yeah.
like there's just no point. Yeah, so that's that. The other games that I played, I said before, I thought the Fortnite stuff was interesting, so I jumped into the Lego Fortnite and the racing game Fortnite thing. I
Yeah.
played the racing game first. That was cool. I don't think I'd spend much time in that. It just wasn't for me. I think the systems are cool. I think the idea of like you can like flip your car on like the sides and like the top and kind of drive all over. That stuff is cool, but I just don't
Yeah.
feel like I'd spend much time. Um, Lego Fortnite, they have themselves a winner there. I think that is a cool mode. I think if they support it, that will be a very, very, very solid thing for a lot of people, a lot of kids to play. The only thing is that there's no split screen. And I think if they launched with
Uh
split screen, that would just be it. Cause I could play with my wife and just be like, hey, look, let's jump into this thing. Cause we like that's sort of the games that we like playing together is like the like
I mean,
building and survivor stuff.
Fortnite
But
is
she'd have to
cross-platform. She could play on her Switch.
yeah. Oh, Switch, yeah. We could do on huh.
Let me pat you on the back, DJ. Let me
Huh.
pat you on the back. Out here,
Right?
out here saving relationships and shit.
I totally forgot about Fortnite being on Switch. I totally forgot about that. Oh man. So yeah, and
I
then
mean,
the last
it's
game,
not like she needs a 4K 60 experience. She
right?
ain't busting ass out there,
Right.
Just you just help her out. Hey, a real life escort mission. There you go.
Right. All right, and then last game I played was a Tekken 8 demo. They
Mm,
announced that they're gonna release a demo. I played it. It's Tekken. There's a lot of new moves, so I gotta sit and invest into that. But like, I'm just
yeah.
not really in that investing mode right now because there's a bunch of other games I need to finish.
Do you feel
So
like you're
this
gonna
will
get day one?
say what?
Do you feel like you're gonna get it day one?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get a day one because I need to. Once I finish up Baldur's Gate 3, I will be pretty good on. I mean, I need to play Final Fantasy 16 too. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely getting day one because I always get the next Tekken game day one, no matter if I don't play it or not. It's
Mm.
part of my soul, essentially. So yeah, that's it. That's this episode. We did it. It didn't take that much out of us. You know, we're still here. Our color is still good. We nailed it. All right. This has been another episode of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as you enjoyed making it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. And if you already subscribed, tell a friend. And then tell that friend to tell another friend. That's how our pyramid scheme will work. We
Your
need your
friends and our
support.
friends can be friends.
Exactly, Sean. Exactly. So do that. And make those friends like this video too as well, because we need those support too, because that'd be helpful. If you are listening to us and you missed me staring directly into your soul, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or any Apple or any podcast service you're currently tuned in on. So leave us a review. Tell your friends. Tell all your friends. Tell your family. Just let us into their lives, please. Do it. All right. Yeah. So be safe. You take care of yourself. You enjoy the holidays if you're celebrating Christmas. If you're not, enjoy the days. There shouldn't be a lot of people on the road, so that might be a good day for you to go out, drive, have a good time. You know, chill, watch the potential snowy weather if we have that. I don't know.
Go do some
Anyways,
Tokyo drifting.
do some Tokyo drifting, but from the safety of your home. I don't know where we're going with this. Hey guys, take care. All right, bye.
Bing, 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 ding, 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 ding. That was only about an hour or hour and 5 minutes. I know the first couple minutes we were trying to